there is a lot of anecdotes on their meetings, a lot of things that Yanukovych said to Kwaśniewski. At one point, Yanukovych desperately wanted to explain, where he got his money from. Obviously, he was not from a very well-off family. He spent time in prison, so he just came up with these stories. That at one time he told Kwaśniewski that he was after the collapse of the Soviet Union, that he was a test driver for BMW in Munich, for example. Another time he said, well, then Kwaśniewski responded, well, then you must know German. And he kind of just, he changed the subject. Then he also told him that he played poker, right when the Soviet Union collapsed, and he made a lot of money that way. So, but Kwaśniewski said that each time his story changed, and that in order to, for these stories to stick, you have to be a good liar and have a good memory, and Yanukovych did not have a good memory, so Kwaśniewski saw right through them. The book is filled with personal stories like that where Kwaśniewski did, and Pat Cox did meet with Yanukovych. I mean, Pat Cox also, from the sources that I interviewed, they said he had notepads, about a dozen notepads at the end of this mission with notes that he took, so that every time, when the prosecutor said something, he would just refer back to them and say, no, that's not what you said. So he also obviously met with Yanukovych a lot of times, and it was a culture shock for him at the things that were happening and things that were being said and sometimes screamed in the court proceedings during the Timoshenko trials. So, so it was probably quite an experience for both of them, to spend so much time with Yanukovych and his regime.